Hello there. Doing a bit of a different setup today. Different setup because we're reacting to one of Sydney Watson's videos. Sydney Watson is a Australian-American far-right media figure. Pretty sure she's a white supremacist. She doesn't seem to like black pride. Complains a lot about why can't she be proud about being white. So today we're taking a look at her video. I'm a conservative and I've had enough. Alright. I'm ready, let's get into it.
Time for a serious chat, because I'm like your mom, but with less yelling. Hi, my name is Sydney, welcome back to my channel. I honestly don't even know where to start, so let's just do the thing. Simply put, I'm angry.
Oh, hear that? She's angry, she's mad! What's she mad about? Losing the election, maybe.
Angrier than I've been maybe ever about all the political noise that goes on around the world. And I'm not just angry. If I'm being totally honest, I'm starting to despise the radical left not only as an ideology, but as people. And it's not somewhere that I ever wanted to be, but I guess here I am and they've pushed me here.
Because you never complained about left-wing people online. Your channel's not dedicated to attacking left-wing ideas like feminism, trans rights.
I hated the media and I already distrusted politicians, but now I've basically hit the wall on anyone forcing any left-wing political viewpoint down my throat.
Always with the vague illusions, forcing it down your throat, but never any examples. The media, politicians, no specifics with these people, and always such extreme victimization. They're forcing it down my throat.
For all intents and purposes, I've had enough. When I first involved myself in politics back in early 2018, I was resentful of the left and their narratives. I found them really annoying, but I thought that we could defeat their ideas with better ideas. And if that failed, then I thought we could march ourselves down to the ballot box and have our say that way. But I don't even—
Wait, you just said 2018. Trump was elected to office in 2016. What are you talking about? Your Republican was in the White House. You were already in charge. What are you talking about? What's this notion of we need to defeat them electorally? You already won. What the victim complex? Your team is in charge.
I don't even know how much trust I have in that process anymore. Because personally, I don't believe that our politicians have our best interests at heart. They don't—
What's the matter? Trump's not far right enough for you?
Bother trying to uphold our beliefs and values. The same beliefs and values, mind you, that put them in their positions of power in the first place.
Unironically correct, because Trump's pretty anti-democracy, so, yeah, he is pretty anti the system that put him there.
They fold at the absolute drop of a hat when they come into contact with the screaming social justice mob.
No they don't. Remember, Mitch McConnell refused to put through a stimulus packet because Nancy Pelosi said that the amount that he wanted wasn't enough, and he just said, fine, nothing. Like, folding? It wasn't like, if he was to give in, he would have approved more money.
Do you think that the majority of people in Mississippi want their flag changed?
I mean, if you want to worship a failed state.
No, but we're gonna do it anyway. Do you think that the decent people in Minnesota want their police force disbanded? No, but you're gonna have it anyway. Do you think that the people in Virginia want their guns taken away? No, but you're still gonna be trampled by the politicians that you elected who said that they do the right thing by you.
I'm sorry, but that's how democracy works. Rule by majority.
I am tired of it, and I'm exhausted by all of this, and I'm so disheartened when I think about where all of this ends. I'm so disgusted.
Where does it end, Sydney?
Watching people tear down statues and destroy monuments because history happens to be inconvenient.
Hey, don't worship slave owners.
I'm not remotely okay with the fact that police are being painted as a group of terrorists who walk the streets picking people off as they please. I'm not okay with—
Well then fuck. Maybe they should act less like terrorists.
Changing the names of our streets to represent a pseudo-terrorist organization.
Oh my god. BLM, the movement that wants justice for black people, in particular police reform, justice for victims of police brutality, pseudo-terrorist. The conservative victim mindset. Where do these people get off calling anybody on the left snowflakes or people with a victim complex? Listen to this language. Pseudo-terrorist organization. My God, a Republican is in the office. Well, at least one was.
letting a group of radicals build their own autonomous zone that we as taxpayers have to fund. And you know what?
I thought conservatives were all about small government. I mean, government doesn't get much smaller than no government.
I'm not okay with the fact that disagreeing with any and all of this bullshit gets us labeled as bigots or racists or xenophobes or whatever.
Yeah, Trump kind of ran a lot of his platform in 2016 on an anti-immigration stance. Anti-immigration, anti-Mexico, anti-South America. And I mean, like, all the Trump supporters, anti-trans, anti-abortion, anti-gay, anti-black, anti-brown, anti-Muslim, anti-Jew in some cases. Like, I'm sorry, but you act like a bigot, you gotta be treated like one.
I don't know a better way to put it than to just say that I'm done. I am done with the left. I am done with all of this. How people...
Cool. Delete your channel. Fuck off.
Particularly those on the right wing, can sit back and watch this happen and not be done is a complete mystery to me.
Oh yes, conservatives, the silent majority, known for just sitting back and not doing anything.
Because being patient and taking the passive high road hasn't worked for us so far.
That's real fucking rich when you look at the Democratic Party and you're gonna call the conservatives the one being passive and taking the high road? What reality do you live in?
So why on earth would it work going forward? It is patently delusional. And more than that, it is weak and it is gutless.
Is she describing the Democratic Party here? Because, I mean, she's right.
And anyone who tries to pacify the left or ignore what they're doing should be ashamed.
True. You should be ashamed if you ignore the left, because we have genuine grievances, genuine issues that need to be addressed with people in the community, people in the country, different minorities. These are serious issues that need to be addressed. And if you want to ignore those issues, fuck you.
Anyone who tries to pacify the lion, hoping that it won't eat them, should be ashamed. It's not normal that a huge portion of the population is scared to express innocuous opinions because they don't want to be berated or attacked or doxxed or fired.
I mean, I just don't think that trans people are human, but like, hey, I shouldn't be afraid to have that position, right?
That is absolutely batshit insane. It's not normal, it's not acceptable, and the fact that we let this go on is pathetic. Recently, I moved from DC to Texas. And do you want to know what? I am so glad that I did. DC is like every other blue city or state under the sun. It's a complete mess. It taxes you into oblivion. It tramples your rights. It has a huge homelessness problem. It has a huge crime problem. It has no-go zones. It is nowhere to raise a child, and if you have any sense of self-respect or integrity, it's not even a good place to work.
Is this about the weed, Sydney?
It is pure swamp.
And here we are 4 years later, and it's still not drained.
And much like its blue sister areas across the country, it's somewhere you can't publicly express right-wing or even moderate views because, surprise, surprise, you'll be crucified.
What kind of views are you talking about? I just don't think that gay people should have to get married. Women shouldn't have any autonomy over their body. Trans people aren't human. What kind of conservative views are you talking about?
Is not normal. I know it's hard for those of you who haven't lived in a liberal city to understand what I'm saying here. And I know that some of you will think that I'm being completely loopy and hyperbolic, but if I hadn't seen all of this firsthand for myself, I would probably agree with you. But that passiveness is part of the problem. Thinking that you yourself are safe, that it doesn't affect you because you're encapsulated by a fading red state that you can't even see is fading. Until you feel unsafe in your own city because your leaders refuse to combat rioting, violence, looting, none of this will seem like a big issue.
I want to tell you, 93% of the protests have been peaceful. Sorry, just facts.
And don't misunderstand, I can definitely see why some people see it like that. Since I've moved to Texas, I've had conversations with many a local who's told me that they don't think that what's going on in America right now is an immediate threat to their way of life. If anything, they love telling me how there's a bunch of little towns that are super red, and apparently those are more important than the major cities that are getting bluer and bluer by the year. And I have no doubt that that's the case, but I'm sure that
a little bit of a tangent. Like, it depends what you mean by more important. Yes, it is an issue that smaller towns are being left behind. This is something that needs to be addressed. A lot of politicians don't see those towns as something worthy of investment. But I mean, we just end up with towns like Appalachia. There's no infrastructure, there's no business, there's no opportunity. And this is a problem, but conservative values aren't the solution.
Other states that were once red had the exact same idea. Because none of this is a big deal, and it's not a problem until it is. If you don't start fighting for your values now, When will you? When will enough be enough? You don't finally deal with termites when the house starts to fall down. You start trying to combat them when they start eating the foundation. Why would anyone wait for their state to look like DC, New York, LA, Baltimore before they finally decide to take action?
But, what kind of action are you talking about, Sydney? Kind of sounds a little bit like civil war posturing? I don't know. You said fight. I mean, what are we talking about? Are you going to be specific? We're going to keep on the victim complex. Oh wait, I forgot.
Why would you wait until your mayor is letting weasel people build their own autonomous zones in your city before...
Weasel people? Like, Sydney, was that an anti-Semitic slur? What's going on?
Before you finally decide that enough is enough? We're at a point, in my opinion, where the left have a stranglehold on everything. And a lot of people seem to forget that they control the cultural narrative not only here in America, but around the world. They control Hollywood, TV, media, radio, pop culture, the education system. They have their creepy little tendrils in everything, and they're feeding this unfiltered diet of left-wing rhetoric to your children, who will be voting every year from here on in, and that's drastically changing the composition of politics.
I'm sorry that the majority of the population in the countries you're referring to are generally progressive. And guess what? Corporations know that, business knows that, capitalism knows that. If the majority of the people are progressive, capitalism is going to try and appeal to those people. And yes, they're going to push the culture narrative that you're talking about. That's just how the market works. If there's a demand, they'll meet it. And in the meantime, people like you just find it uncomfortable. I'm sorry. Hey, you want to stop it? Get rid of capitalism.
The media does not present a different viewpoint. It's all left-wing narrative.
I mean, we've already seen how Fox News is now to the left of the Trump administration. I didn't think I'd live to see that. A corporation like Fox News, more progressive, not like by no means progressive or left-wing, but on the scale, more left of an American or Republican administration. Hey, you have OAN, Parler, shit like that. You can hang out with the Nazis and have a good time.
And they're shaping your views and ideas by giving you no other option. White privilege this, male privilege that, academic flim-flam. That's
academic flim-flam. I'm sorry that the vast majority of science trends towards progressivism. Well, what do you know? Like, who would have thought?
Normal talking points. The radical left are making it really hard for normal people, including classical liberals.
Normal people? What is that? What is a normal person? A normal person isn't a progressive? And she just said even liberals. Well, liberals are the ones that eat up all of the media that you were just complaining about. What is a normal person?
You guys are still normal, don't worry. To coexist. Because they're waging war against everything and everyone that they don't like. People are too scared to tell their coworkers that they voted for Trump or that they will vote for Trump, but that they have any conservative viewpoints. The radicals,
I'm sorry, conservatism's pretty cringe,
have not only shut down, but obliterated any and all forms of intelligent, rational discussion and debate.
There's no intelligent or rational discussion with you people. You people deny science constantly, ignore information that contradicts your views. All of the views of the left, trans rights, abortion, all of it's backed up by science. Critical race theory, systemic racism. You guys want to look at the evidence and just say, nah, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. America is a meritocracy. Denial of reality, denial of science. We can't engage in discussion or debate with people that don't acknowledge basic reality.
A lot of us have sat pretty for a really long time, thinking that if we do nothing, then all of this will just blow over. But it's not blowing over. All we've done is step out of the way so that the radical left can pave the path for us.
Again, a Republican is the president. What are you talking about? This notion of the radical left controlling the narrative? You are in the White House.
And it's not even a path that any of us want to traverse, but we have no one else to blame but ourselves. And I'm sorry, but that can't go on anymore. Not if we actually intend to preserve our value systems. Your
values? Oh god, let's see. Pro-white, anti-abortion, anti-gay, anti-trans. Yeah. Sorry, but that is a core system that is incompatible with the human experience.
There really needs to be a shift in psyche of moderates and people on the right. People need to start actually standing up for themselves and being vocal about their viewpoints.
You know how many MAGA coping videos there is out there now of people not being quiet, people protesting outside of poll booths, entire caravan lines, running liberals or even people that they potentially perceived to be liberal or Biden supporter off the road, these people have never been quiet. Look, Trump supporters are not known for being quiet.
I'm not over here suggesting that you should be using the same tactics as the left and be as destructive and gross as the left, but stand up for yourselves. Because I, for one, am really tired of being dictated to by absolute lunatics.
Again, no specifics, just vague gesturing. Nothing at all. Like, you can't name one instance. You just stand up for yourself. We're being oppressed.
I know that some of you are going to listen to this and think that I have gone totally off the deep end and that I have absolutely lost it. And
I mean, what are you suggesting? Civil war?
I'm being hyperbolic, and none of this really is actually that big of a deal. But look around. Look at the news. Look what's happening across the world, not just in America, but across the world, and tell me that this isn't a problem. And I just want to be clear here as well.
Yeah, there is a problem across the world. We're currently experiencing a rise in far-right fascism, in anti-democracy. We're in a democratic recession globally. Like, almost every country is in a democratic recession. Like the UK, Europe, a lot of Europe, Australia, America, India, Brazil, a lot of the Middle East, Turkey. Oh my God, there is a problem. It's not what you think it is. If you're for democracy, which I don't believe that you are, then you recognize that there is a genuine problem, and it's fascism. It's happening. It's here. If we don't act now, it'll be too late.
None of this is about Donald Trump. It doesn't matter if you like him. It doesn't even matter if you agree with him. This solely comes down to a battle of who wants liberty and who wants authoritarianism.
Yep. And we want liberty. Give me liberty or give me death.
Who can have a discussion and who can't. Who wants a cohesive, happy society and who wants to separate us into groups based on race, sex, and random arbitrary characteristics.
I see. So a cohesive, happy society is when black people live in abject poverty and are in fear of their lives daily from the police. Sounds like a cohesive society to me, Sydney.
At least from my perspective, this is about ideology and this is about freedom. In the end, speak up. Being fired from your job for having a particular political viewpoint is completely disgusting, but if Democrats get their way and they reorganize society in the way that they want to, you probably won't have a job anyway. Even if you're a Democrat who does not share these psycho-progressive viewpoints, speak up, because if the radical Democrats get into positions of power and authority, they're going to run this country into the ground. People seem to think, for whatever reason, that if they act—
if the radical Democrats got into power, then they'd run the country, but it certainly wouldn't be downwards.
Yes, to the radical left, they'll be satisfied and they'll go away. But
yeah. I mean, yeah, like, hey, fuck. Like, implement climate policy, protect people's rights, ensure that we take steps to invest in impoverished communities, give everybody equitable access to jobs, opportunities, a higher standard of living, then yeah, like, fuck. That's how you make people happy. That's how you give people liberty. But again, you're not on the side of liberty, are you?
that's not the case. The more ground that you give them, the more that they keep pushing and pushing and pushing until their ideas become mainstream, until their ideas become the societal norm. And once that—
yeah, like, hey, look at the civil rights movement. Just keep pushing and got black people rights.
happens, once psychotic progressive legislation becomes law, America will cease to be what it is today.
I mean, again, on the subject of the civil rights movement, this could literally be the same argument from some kind of Southern conservative during the civil rights movement. You would literally hear the exact same words. You're on the wrong side of history, Sydney. You people aren't the people for freedom. You're not for liberty. You're on the side of authoritarianism, the side of restricting people's rights.
Hyperbolic. We have seen this happen the world over for literally centuries.
Yeah. Progressive ideals just keep chugging away, and eventually we get there.
In my opinion, if you don't start fighting for what matters to you, then I'm not even sure that you deserve to live in a free society.
Whoa, I love this language. It's so loaded. Fighting for a free society. Always conservative, the victim complex. We're fighting. We're at war. Like, remember how we had to listen to conservatives talk about the war on Christmas? For 10 fucking years! Cool it down. Almost done.
Many of you who've been part of this community for the last 2 years will know that I try really hard to find a rational, reasonable perspective on most issues that I discuss. And when it comes to this specific one, I am so tired. And I'm so concerned about not just America, but the way that Australia is heading. God, Australia breaks my heart.
Yeah, unfortunately Australia's trending pretty far right as well. Breaks my fucking heart. So hey guys, help me out. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications, hit the like it. Let's get a big Australian leftist YouTuber up there. We fucking need it.
And the thing that I think more than anything is that the more that we give up territory and the more that we acquiesce to the radical left, there just won't be anything left fighting for in the end.
Yeah, in the end, there'll be no conservatives left. Oh, that is the future that we are fighting for. There'll be no conservative values, no right-wing values. There'll be nothing that is antithetically. There'll be nothing that is essentially anti-democracy, anti-freedom, and anti-liberty. We'll get there one day.
Go vote in November, for example. Start speaking up. Tell your employer to go and get nicked when they try to make you do inclusion training. Start standing up for yourself and stop being a doormat for the radical left. Take a stand. Because honestly, enough is enough. And if nothing else, we should be fighting for our values.
Oh, I'm sorry that your safe space is being invaded, Snowflake.
So that is all from me, beautiful people.
Alright, okay, she doesn't have anything else to say. Alright, well, that was pretty horrible. So good to see that there's people out there that are totally fine with a second civil war. That was fun. And I just want to say once more, the victim complex of conservatives. It is disgusting and absolutely rich that I can call anybody on the left a snowflake. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you like the video, please consider subscribing, give it a like, hit the notification bell. I'll see you all very soon with another video.